Assalamu alaikum. I hope you all are keeping well and safe this month of Ramadan. Imam Hussein Development and Relief Foundation are running their famous Ramadan food basket appeal. Previous year, we were able to collect and feed thousands of struggling people. This year, we want to provide 10,000 food baskets. Each food basket contains essentials like rice, meat, vegetables, oil, tea, and dates. One basket can feed a family of 4 for up to 10 days. Each costs just £20 per basket. Take advantage of this blessed month to help and feed your brothers and sisters in need. To donate, please visit www.ihdrf.org. Let's feed the destitute people of Iraq.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. We've heard the term fake news all over the news in the past couple of years or so. And I think CNN got the brunt of it whenever we'd hear about fake news. That we'd always be told by the former president of the United States that there is too much fake news and that there are people who are bringing about news which has no reality whatsoever. And of course we see that part and parcel in our life. There are many instances of fake news because there are human beings who are ready to spread fake news about anyone, especially people that they are envious of. You see, if you like somebody, you're not going to like people spreading gossip or slander about them. But when you dislike somebody or you're envious of somebody, then not only do you enjoy people spreading slander about them, but you also get involved in spreading gossip and slander about them, be you Muslim or non-Muslim. Because let's not beat around the bush. We know very well that on some of the television channels that we watch, there are moments where we enjoy hearing about someone's private life. We want to hear about rumors relating to their private life. Even if there's a scandal of a financial nature or a scandal of a personal nature, we thrive on that. And I wouldn't put it past a human being, Muslim or non-Muslim, that when they really dislike somebody, they are ready to make up all sorts of nonsense about them. It doesn't matter if you're famous or you're not famous. We know very well that we live in a world where there are a lot of isha'at. There are a lot of, for example, reports of a seemingly fake or unoriginal or fabricated nature. That's why it's not surprising that in the world of hadith, we always ask, what is the chain of the narrators? Give me the isnad of the hadith. Why? Because I want to make sure that this particular narration is something that I can verify. I know that there are people who are ready to hurt the reputation of someone in Islamic history who they do not like. So they are going to be ready as well to fabricate narrations about them. A whole science in our life is known as the science of verifying fake news. What is the science of hadith? Either I'm trying to verify whether something is original or something is fake. Is something mutawatir? Is something sahih? Is something hasan? Is something muwathaq? Is something da'if? Has something been the victim of tadlis? Therefore, even within my own religious circles, recognize that fake news has existed, exists, and will continue to exist. But I also see in the world media today that it's so easy now with social media and with Photoshop and with other areas in the technological advancement that we can bring about fake news about anybody we would like. We can Photoshop your face with somebody and cause a rumor to spread, can't we? We can write a piece of fake news online about somebody that we do not like, and we make sure that a whole generation of people are raised believing it. Do we agree? Has it happened? Of course it happens. You'll see in each of our lives, be we known or unknown, famous or not famous, that at one stage or another someone spread a rumor about you. When you hear that rumor, that isha'a being spread about you, that breaks your heart, doesn't it? As you're a human at the end of the day, and when you hear people spreading fake news about you, it kills you. But also, you may sometimes accuse people of fake news so that they all go into a circle where you've labeled them and nothing of what they say will be accepted. So sometimes a leader may use the term fake news to divert attention from the masses about the truth. Or sometimes people will spread fake news about somebody for many years. And later on we find out it's not true. Can you think of anything in your life or in the life of public personalities where you were told about somebody something that's not true? You thought for many years it was true. And then one fine day you're like, astaghfirullah, how did I believe what they said? It turned out to be all false. Even I've seen in my own life, people, when I hear a certain story that reaches me, I'm like, do people really believe this? And they're like, bro, people actually believe this. They believe you're pro this, they believe you're anti this, they believe you work for this, they believe you have gone to this, they believe you're with this, they believe you're against this. What do you do at that moment? Why the Quran looked at fake news was because the Quran realized that you could damage a person's life. Psychologically, there are people who are traumatized because of rumors. There are people who are traumatized because of gossip. Not everybody has thick skin. You agree with that, Murtada? Not everybody has thick skin. There are a lot of people who have that thick skin where they call it like water off a duck's back. But then there are other people, the first rumor, the first scandal against them, which has nothing to do with them, breaks them. They're like, I don't want to come back to the mosque. I don't want to come back to the community. In our communities, I've seen innocent girls who were accused of things they did not commit. Girls who were accused that this girl has a relationship with so-and-so, this girl goes to so-and-so place, and these girls were innocently accused, slandered, and at the end what happens? Some of them even leave the community. They never come back to our mosques again. You say to them, why don't you come back to the mosque? They say, why should I come back? Ghiba, namima, buhtan, isha'at. There is gossip, backbiting and everything. Why should I come back? I'd rather hang around with people who are not religious, but they look after their tongue as if they knew that their tongue on the day of judgment will be questioned. Because if you look in the Quran, Surah 17, my dear brothers and sisters at home, Surah 17 of the Quran, verse number 36. Surah 17, verse number 36. Surah Al-Isra or Bani Israel, verse number 36. You find that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes something very clear. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to realize that it's of the utmost importance that we understand that all of our organs will be questioned. وَلَا تَقْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٍ. Pursue not that which you don't have the knowledge of. Don't pursue when someone's given you a scandal or a rumor. Don't pursue it. Relax. Why? إِنَّ السَّمْعَ وَالْبَصَرَ وَالْفُؤَادَ كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. When someone has given you a lead about a rumor, don't pursue it. Someone says, no, but Sayyidina, I want to hear more about it. Tell me more. Tell me more. The Quran says what? As-sam' wal-basar wal-fu'ad. All of these. What is the sam'? What does sam' mean in English? Hearing. Basar, seeing. Fu'ad, the heart. All of these are going to be questioned. Because when you're looking for a scandal or gossip or a rumor, what's involved? Hearing and seeing. And sometimes Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam would say, the difference between truth and falsehood is 4 fingers. What you hear in your ears, you must verify with your eyes. I heard that Haji Abu Amir was involved in this scandal. I heard. Sama'at. Isha'a. I heard a particular rumor. Did I see? No, I just heard. Inna sam'a wal basara wal fu'ad. On the day of judgment, what's going to be questionable? My hearing. Because did I enjoy hearing this type of news? My eyes, did I enjoy watching people's lives destroyed? Bro, I have a clip. I have a clip of so-and-so. He's been caught. Watch this. Where was my heart at that moment? That'll be questioned. Either your qalb is a qalb which is the qalb of a mu'min, where the arsh of the Rahman sits. Or your qalb is a qalb which is what? في قلوبهم مرض. There are some people whose hearts have a disease because they enjoy fake news. They love listening to news about people's lives. They love hearing about scandal. They love hearing about gossip. إن السمع والبصر والفؤاد what? كل أولئك كان عنه مسؤولا. Each one of these things you're going to be questioned on. Why did you sit and listen to that? Why did you sit and watch that? How many of us watch film stars, scandals that happen in their life? We love watching the whole thing. We're going to be questioned. Let alone when it happens within the Muslim community. And in the Quran, one particular incident happened within the Muslim community that caused a major scandal known as the incident of the ifk. Everybody at home, this scandal is one of the biggest scandals in the Quran. You want to know the meaning of fake news? It's in this surah. You want to know about how Medina, all of a sudden, it was like headlines about a wife of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Go to Surah An-Nur, Surah 24 of the Quran. Everybody at home, I want everybody to see this. What fake news looked like in the Quran. A whole incident of fake news, by the way. Not just an ayah, a whole incident. Surah An-Nur, Surah 24 of the Quran, ayah 11, verse number 11. In Surah 24, verse number 11, there is clearly some news that is being spread, some gossip that's being spread, some scandal that's being spread. Because we see from the ayah, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ جَاءُوا بِالْإِفْكِ عُصْبَةٌ مِّنْكُمْ. Verily those who have brought forth a slander are a gang amongst you. There's a gang, there's a group, there's some people who have brought forth a slander. Ifk is when a person takes something out of the original form, we call it ifk. You know when you say, bro, is that an original or is that a fake? You remember that type of terminology we used to say? Bro, is that original or is that fake? Ifk, if you want to put even related to the word in English, fake. Ifk. This incident in Islamic literature is known as the incident of ifk. The word ifk and its derivatives are mentioned a number of times in the Quran, by the way. But this incident of the ifk is a huge incident. Why? Because, you know, sometimes you imagine that in Medina we had the best society. There's this myth that Muslims spread that the time of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was the best time, and that after him and the generation after that, they are as-salaf as-salih, the pious predecessors, they were the best. There's so many scandals in their time. There's so many slanders. There's civil wars. I don't know how it's the best. But anyway, people believe it's the best of times. We have an incident here. إِنَّ الَّذِينَ جَاءُوا بِالْإِفْكِ عُصْبَةٌ مِّنْكُمْ. What is the story of the ifk? What happened in the story of the ifk? Can I ask everybody at home a question? Do you think the name of the person who was in this scandal is mentioned in this surah? Does it say, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ جَاءُوا بِالْإِفْكِ ضد عائشة على عائشة يتكلمون عن عائشة يتحدثون عن عائشة يستغيبون عائشة. Is her name mentioned in this incident? No. إن الذين جاءوا بالإفك عصبة منكم لا تحسبوه شرا لكم بل هو خير لكم لكل امرئ منهم what ما اكتسب من الإثم والذي تولى كبره منهم what happens له عذاب عظيم. Who's it about? Where do I go to find out who this is about? All I know is that it says there's someone who's brought forth a slander. They seemingly are a gang of people. Don't deem it an evil to you. And that for the one who took the greatest part in this, there is a grievous chastisement. Who's the slander against, said Murtada? Does it say anyone's name? No. Does it say anyone's name? Does it say anyone's name, said Muhsin? Hajjina, does it say anyone's name? It doesn't say anyone's name. This Quran that I have in front of me, which many of you would have come across, the Agha Puya Quran, which has some tafsir with it. In this section, it's written the scandal against Aisha. He just writes it. Because the majority of the Mufassirin say that this is related to the scandal against Aisha, the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Do any of you know the story of the scandal? Do any of you know what happened? Prophet, if he went away on an expedition, would take, for example, one of his wives. There might be lots which are cast, like a qur'ah, for example, to see which wife he goes with to a particular expedition. On this one, he took with him Aisha. When they were coming back from this expedition, known as the expedition of Bani Mustalaq, it seems that as they were about to leave, Aisha had to go towards the toilet for some privacy. And that when she's returning back, now you know in those days you may have a camel, and on the camel there might be a particular carriage, or you may have people who carry, 4 people who might carry the carriage. What happens is that she realizes she's lost her necklace. You wear a glider, for example. She's realized that, where's my necklace? It's dark night. How are you going to find the necklace? What's going on? She's gone back to check for the necklace. The caravan of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa and the rest of them have now left. What are they thinking? That Aisha is where? They're thinking that she's on the camel, on the carriage, the holder. She comes back. Where's everyone? There's no one here. What's going on? Where is everyone? Safwan, if I'm not mistaken, the son of Mu'attal, he would be of those who would hang behind the caravan, just in case as the army is moving, things are dropped. He sees in the distance that someone's still there. Who is it? Aisha. That caravan has got a couple of miles ahead, correct? Safwan tells her, come with me. Safwan and Aisha, they go together and they enter where? Enter into Medina. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa, is he already in Medina? Yes. So Aisha, when she entered Medina, who was she with? Safwan. If you saw the wife of the Prophet with someone stranger, he's a stranger, and they enter together, what do you think would happen? الإشاعات تبدي والحكي يبدي. The talk begins. Did you hear? Hear what? The wife of the Prophet, peace be upon him, and his family was involved in an affair. Bro, what are you chatting about? No, there's a rumor that she's been linking Safwan. Linking Safwan, I know, doesn't sound like the lingo they use in Medina. There's a rumor that she's been with Safwan. Bro, did you hear? Did you hear? Did you hear? And you've got these different names of people who are mentioned as people who were spreading this rumor. This whole incident is an incident discussing fake news. إن الذين جاءوا بالإفك عصبة منكم. Those who are brought forth the slander are a gang amongst you. There's a group of you who enjoy this type of slander. لا تحسبوه شرا لكم. Don't see this as a negative or as an evil to you. بل هو خير لكم. How could it be خير? Medina is making a rumor about everybody, about her, about the Prophet, the poor Prophet. Imagine him. People are accusing his wife of having a relationship with Safwan. So how could it be khair? You know, it's very interesting what I've said in the last 10 minutes. Do you know why? I've described this as Aisha without her name being in there. Do you agree? Someone might say Sayyidina, but her name's not there. What makes you think? What do we normally reply? How do we know it's her? We go to the world of hadith, correct? The world of hadith is such a relative world. It depends who's got control of the pens, isn't it? You see, if I like somebody, I'm going to always make sure that they're looked after well as well. I can also make sure that I could say verses are revealed in their honor. You see, Abu Bakr being in the cave with the Prophet is not in the Quran. It just says second of the two. But don't we all have to believe it? You can't say otherwise. You're told you can't. Because it became so set in stone in the Muslim community that anyone who dared question it, how dare you? This is another incident. Why is it when an ayah is revealed about these people without their names, everyone has to accept? But then when it comes to Imam Ali alayhi salam, they say, why is his name not in the Quran? Do you agree? Imam Ali alayhi salam, how many ayahs are revealed about him, but his name's not mentioned? But they say, why did Allah not put Ali's name? Okay, where's Aisha's name there? No, you go to hadith. So why can't I use my hadith? That's why whenever someone tells you, show me Imam in the Quran, say, bro, whose tafsir, yours or mine? Because if we're using your tafsir, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ جَاءُوا بِالْإِفْكِ عُصْبَةٌ مِّنْكُمْ لَا تَحْسَبُوهُ شَرًّا لَكُمْ, I have to accept you're telling me this is Aisha. What if I say this is Maria al-Qibtiyya, Mary the Coptic? Someone said Murtada asked me, for example, Sayyidina, Mary the Coptic? I said, why not Maria al-Qibtiyya? Why not another wife? They said, no, it's impossible, it's Maria al-Qibtiyya. Why can't I say that there is a Shia narration that says that Maria al-Qibtiyya was the one who is the victim of the ifk? That she supposedly had an affair with Jurayh. And that when Aisha heard that Ibrahim, the son of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, had died, Aisha had said that why are you saddened by the death of Ibrahim, the son of Jurayh? Isn't that slander as well of Mary the Coptic and her relationship with Rasulullah? That's not your kid. هذا ابن جريح مو ابن الرسول. That's not your kid. That's the son of Jurayh. The main point is whether it's Aisha, but maybe it's important to make sure that this is Aisha as well, so that when she fought Imam Ali at the Battle of Jamal, we could connect this story. Why? Because they say that when the Prophet, peace be upon him, and his family found out that Medina was spreading fake news, or when he found out that the news was going around in Medina, he went supposedly to two people. I remember reading, he went to Imam Ali and Osama. Osama could not have been that old at the time. And he went to Imam Ali, and apparently Imam Ali told him, divorce her, طلقها, divorce her. So that later on in Jamal, when she fights, they say, but there's an old problem between the two of them. Whether it's Aisha being slandered, or whether it's Aisha slandering Maria al-Qibtiyya, because we know Aisha was jealous of Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam because of Khadija. Aisha was jealous of Zainab because of the Maghafir drink. Aisha was jealous of Maria al-Qibtiyya because Aisha could not have children. And Maria al-Qibtiyya, said Murtada, gave the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him and his family, who did she give him? Ibrahim alayhi salam. So Aisha's jealousy streak, of course, we can all see. Within the world of the Quran, وَإِذَا سَرَّ النَّبِيُّ إِلَى بَعْضِ أَزْوَاجِهِ حَدِيثًا. Within the world of Hadith, where she's jealous of Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam, and certainly is not saddened by the sudden demise of Fatima al-Zahra only months after Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa had died. Irrespective, Aisha slandered, Aisha slandering, there's one main point here. Fake news and the spread of gossip and slandering, it destroys people's lives and hurts their feelings. And you'll be made accountable, because what's the basis of it? Your tongue. جرمه صغير جرمه ثقيل. The weight of the tongue is so light and the power of the tongue is so devastating. The ayah says إن الذين جاءوا بالإفك عصبة منكم لا تحسبوه شرا لكم. Baba, شلون ما نحس بشر? Why? They're spreading evil. بل هو خير. Why خير? Because we now can expose the people around you. Those around you, not all of them are the same. Not all of them are Ali, son of Abu Talib. Not all of them are Miqdad ibn al-Aswad. Not all of them are Ammar bin Yasir. Not all of them are Salman al-Muhammadi or Abu Dhar al-Ghifari. Not all of them are the same. Such things are able to expose that in your community there is a mu'min and there is a munafiq. The next ayah talks about those who love listening to gossip. لولا إذ سمع, listen to this ayah, Hajj Abu Amir. لولا إذ سمعتموه ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات بأنفسهم خيرا وقالوا هذا إفك مبين. Why didn't the believing man and the believing woman, when they hear of such things, say, this is clear slander? Because you know what we love to do? When we hear something that's a rumor, you'll see many of us will not turn around and say, this is definitely slanderous. We're like, bro, what else do you know? What else do you know? What else do you know? Here the idea says, لولا إذ سمعتموه ظن المؤمنون والمؤمنات بأنفسهم خيرا لو كان عندهم. What is it? There's a person عنده حسن الظن. There's a person عنده what? سوء الظن. If these people had good intentions, they would have turned around and said, why are we spreading such rumors about such a person? This person, we don't know the whole story about their life. True said Murtada? What do we know about the story of their whole life? I don't know everything related to their whole life. لولا, look at the next ayah. لولا جاءوا. Then what? If they had come with 4 witnesses. بأربعة شهداء. Why did they not produce 4 witnesses? فإذ لم يأتوا بالشهداء فأولئك عند الله هم الكاذبون. Why did they not produce 4 witnesses? Why? You know, in Islam, if I slander someone, I say she's having an affair, said Murtada, I say that this person, we've seen them have an affair, and you say, said Muhsin, that I accept. And Hajj Abu Amir says, I accept. We got 3 people. How many do we need? 4. Say a 4th one came. You 3 said, I saw them together at 9 p.m. The fourth one said, I saw them together at 9:30. Do you know that all you three, according to the Quran, are to be whipped? You're to be lashed. Someone says, what do you mean we're to be whipped? Us three saw something and the fourth one saw something different. Because you could have put someone's life in danger. Because we know that in the Islamic legal system, in Sharia, zina requires a had. It's hudud. If you look in the same Surah An-Nur, look in verse number 4 of Surah An-Nur. So same surah, my dear brothers and sisters at home. Verse number 4, you look at it. Those who accuse protected women with adultery, ثم لم يأتوا بأربعة شهداء فاجلدوهم 80 جلدة ولا تقبل لهم شهادة أبدا وأولئك هم الفاسقون. You accuse someone of committing zina, you three, and then there's a fourth person who differs in their opinion with you in terms of what happened. You three have to be whipped how many times? 80 times. And your witnessing is never to be taken again. So therefore the Quran said, لَوْلَا جَاءُوا عَلَيْهِ بِأَرْبَعَةِ شُهَدَاء. If they had, why didn't they produce 4 witnesses? Look how the Quran wants to make clear. Someone gives you fake news. Someone gives you any news. You cannot just say, yes, we accept. Because you know what ends up happening? You end up causing the death of somebody. Then the Quran says, وَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ فِي الدُّنْيَا. What would happen? وَالْآخِرَةِ لَمَسَّكُمْ فِي مَا أَفَضْتُمْ فِيهِ عَذَابٌ عَظِيمٌ. If it wasn't for God's grace and mercy in this world and the hereafter, He could have easily seized you, punished you for the slander that you entered. But the word here, afadtum, said Murtada, fayadan, what does it mean? Fayadan, in English, like flood, for example, yeah? When it says, فيما أفضتم فيه, imagine this, what the scene here. It's an amazing scene the Quran gives us. You love gossip and scandal so much that you drown yourself in it. Hey, any more news about other people's lives? You guys got any more news? Is there anyone else who's in trouble today? Who's got divorced? Tell us who's got divorced. Is anyone else got divorced? Let's hear about their divorce. Anyone else lost their job? Anyone else? Did you hear anyone else in a particular affair? Have you? فيما أفضتم means you drowned in this spreading. Like a person who's in the middle and he's drowned in just enjoying in the middle the spread of gossip. إذ تلقونه بألسنتكم وَتَقُولُونَ بِأَفْوَاهِكُمْ. You receive it with your tongues, you utter it with your mouths. Meaning what? Meaning there's no aql, because we know that all of it comes from the tongue or the mouth. Why has Allah said the tongue and the mouth? Because He's not mentioning there's no reasoning in what you're doing. How could you listen to somebody without verifying the information that they're giving you? وَتَقُولُونَ بِأَفْوَاهِكُمْ مَا لَيْسَ لَكُمْ بِهِ عِلْمٌ وَتَحْسَبُونَهُ هَيِّنًا. You found it that something which is so easy for she hayyin. Hayyin, what does it mean? Hayyin means, you know what, easy. Tell me, you know what happened in their wedding? Did that really happen? Tell me more, I beg you, tell me more. Hey, tell me, is it true that they lost their house, they lost their job, they lost their car, they lost their marriage? Tell me, you know what, you find it something hayyin? It's something for you easy to listen to these things? وَهُوَ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ عَظِيمٌ. But in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what is it? It's something great. Listen to this next line. This is the WhatsApp lines coming up. Said Murtada. This is the WhatsApp lines. I call these the WhatsApp fake news lines. وَلَوْلَا إِذْ سَمِعْتُمُوهُ قُلْتُمْ مَا يَكُونُ لَنَا أَن نَتَكَلَّمَ بِهَذَا سُبْحَانَكَ هَذَا بُهْتَانٌ عَظِيمٌ. When you heard it, why didn't you say, it's not for us to talk of this, it's not our business, this is a serious slander? How many times you get a WhatsApp message about Ammar Nakshawani and you forwarded it? There are people who will get a WhatsApp message about me and forget me, about others. Forward. Scandal. I remember I was at a wedding and there was a rumor that was spread a couple of weeks after I was in this wedding. A story came out that had absolutely nothing to do with me, became associated with me. And what happened was, the messages were spread everywhere. Until one of my friends messaged me. He said, I've made a statement. Subhanallah. You know the first ayah that came to my head? Surah 24 verse 16. The same ayah. Where God says, when you heard it, why didn't you say it's none of our business? Hada buhtan. What's buhtan? You know, I may say something behind your back, which is true, but I'm saying it behind your back, and you don't like me saying it. What's that called? Behind your back. Ghiba. Buhtan is when I say something false behind your back. Ghiba. Ghiba. At least you're saying something true behind someone's back, but you know that that person wouldn't like it, so it's haram to do it, correct? But you're still saying something true. So I'm saying, for example, this person failed their exams. I tell someone else, it's true they did fail their exams, but you know that person wouldn't like you to mention that. Buhtan is when I say something false behind someone's back. Even worse. Here the Quran is addressing the WhatsApp fake news generation. What is the WhatsApp fake news generation? They're the ones who hear it and they don't say the line, why didn't you say قُلْتُ مَا يَكُونُ لَنَا أَن نَتَكَلَّمَ بِهَذَا? How dare we talk about this? سُبْحَانَكَ هَذَا بُهْتَانٌ عَظِيمٌ. But there are those who love it. Haven't you met those who love the and you know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows those who love الإشاعات يموتون عليهن. اعطيني إشاعة, اعطيني rumors, اعطيني whatever you could give me. غيبة, نميمة, بهتان, جيب لي, اعطيني, give me. Verse 19, إن الذين يحبون الله أكبر إن الذين يحبون أن تشيع الفاحشة في الذين آمنوا لهم عذاب أليم في الدنيا والآخرة والله يعلم وأنتم لا تعلمون. إن الذين يحبون, سبحان الله. You see, if it just said إن الذين يشيعون الفاحشة, you know, يطلعون الإشاعات, it goes everywhere. إن الذين يحبون, they love spreading news. They love it. إن الذين يحبون أن تشيع الفاحشة في الذين آمنوا. Subhanallah. They love to spread it on those who are from amongst them in the community. When you get a video clip of a Sayyid or a Sheikh, a video clip, 15 seconds, video, comes to you with telephone, video, نص دقيقة, half a minute, دقيقة. The lecture itself, al-muhadara, this very program, is about 45 minutes to 1 hour. Do we agree? When you get a clip 1 minute, 2 minutes, then where's al-muhadara? Where's the whole lecture? Because you know what I can do? I can cut, copy, paste, and make it sound bad, can't I? I could do that easily. In our communities, what's interesting is when a person gets a clip, 1 minute, 2 minutes, they don't ask what was before, what's after. And nor do they stop the person spreading the fake news. Rather, they enjoy it. They thrive on it. The Quran said that these people, yuhibbuna, they love to spread slander, gossip. They thrive on it. And you know, sometimes there are people, don't be swayed by how much ilm they have. When you sit amongst them, you will realize that all they want to do in sitting amongst you is badmouth everybody in the community. They've finished all hawza, they've done the classes, mashallah, they've done it. But as soon as it comes to this, they want to find faults in everybody in the community. Don't be swayed by a person's dress. You look at me dressing all looking like I'm some ascetic or I'm pious. Don't be swayed. Be swayed by what comes from my tongue. Be swayed if my words are the good words. True? And whenever anyone gives you any information, verify. Surah 49, everyone at home. Verse number 6, what an ayah. An ayah. That's arguably one of the most important ayahs in the Quran when it comes to fake news. and an ayah which everyone in Hawza has to study one way or the other when it comes to hadith, when it comes to usul al-fiqh, Surah al-Hujurat, Surah 49, verse number 6, the ayah of ayahs about fake news. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, Surah al-Hujurat, ayah raqam 6, verse number 6. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. This ayah is so easy to understand, it's amazing. Even if you just read the translation. Oh, you who believe, when an evil person comes to you with news, verify the news. Can there be a more simple ayah in the Quran? When a person comes to you with news, especially in our community, someone who's known as BBC because of how many rumors they spread, or they're known as Reuters, when they come and tell you, have you heard? 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 Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, oh you who claim to have iman, you claim to be a mu'min. إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ, هذا فاسق, إنسان وسخ, this person has no boundaries. فتبينوا. Who was this revealed about? Uthman bin Affan's maternal brother was Walid bin Uqba. Walid bin Uqba bin Abi Mu'ayt. His father was a staunch enemy of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, if I'm not mistaken, was killed at Badr. Walid was a severe enemy of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, من أعداء الرسول sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But Walid converted. Bani Mustalaq, remember we mentioned them earlier about the expedition? Afterwards, a lot of their leaders converted. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa knew Walid and Bani Mustalaq had a problem before when they weren't Muslims. Now that they become Muslims, what do you do as a great leader? You try and remove the tension that exists between these converts. Do you agree? Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa tells Walid, go and collect the tax from Bani Mustalaq. Every tribe has to pay tax. Walid goes towards them. But he remembers that, you know what? How do I know they've converted? Why? Because you are a person who's filthy. So you're going to think of others filthily. And if you're a person who's pure, you think of others as being pure. This Walid, when the Prophet tells him to go and collect taxes, and the Prophet has informed Harith, the head of Bani Mustalaq, that someone's going to come and collect, this Walid comes near to the tribe, comes nearer and nearer to their house. Imagine you're going to someone's yard, you're going to someone's house, about 2 roads away, and then you're like, what if they don't like me? What if they haven't converted really? You know what? Forget it. He went back. You know what he went back? He went to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He said, Ya Rasulullah, I have bad news. What is the bad news? Bani Mustalaq irtaddu. They went back. Saru kuffar. They've gone back. Sometimes you ruin a whole community because of one rumor. You destroy a whole family because of one piece of gossip. You destroy an innocent girl's marriage chances because of one despicable bit of misinformation. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Baba, Bani Mustalaq, استسلموا. How have they just became Muslim? Why have they changed their mind straight away? I know 5 times a day in Salah is not easy, but you can't change your mind that quick. And our munch is not that bad. What's wrong? He said, La ya Rasulullah, taddo, they wanted to come and kill me. Quran came down. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, in ja'akum fasiq. When a fasiq, a filthy individual like Walid bin Uqba, comes to you with news, Verify the news. Remember what we said. When you hear something, there's four fingers between truth and falsehood. What you hear, verify in the eyes. Someone tells you, Sayyid Fulan did this, Sheikh Fulan did this, Ammu Fulan did this, Bit Fulan did this. Baba, verify. Tabayyanu. Why? أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. Because you'll end up making a whole group of people seem ignorant, and then what do you do later? You know what the worst thing is? People who never liked you, when they eventually become your biggest fans, they've got no chance to come back and make up the rubbish they spread about you. Someone didn't like you. 10 years later, they love you. Okay, how many people did you misguide info about me in those years? How many people did you cause to hate me, cause to hate my wife, cause to hate our kids, cause to hate our community, cause to hate our family? And that's why a few ayahs later, same surah, few ayahs later, what does the Quran say? Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu, ayah 12, ayah 12. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن what? إثم. Oh, you who believe, avoid suspicion. Baba, don't suspect. Wallah, go to the person. Say, Sayyidina, is this true? Someone said this to me. Is it true? Shaykhna, is this true? Mawlai, is it true? Habibi, is this true? Why? وَلَا تَجَسَّسُوا. And how many are spying on us in the community now? Because they're looking for news. So you know what they do? They send people your way who are going to be used as bait to get you in trouble. Spies. We have in the Muslim community, fake news is spread within the Muslim community by Muslims who are working as moles. Look at Surah 4 verse 83, my dear brothers and sisters at home. Surah 4 verse 83. I'll never forget this ayah, because this ayah shows me that fake news in the Muslim community is spread by moles. There are moles in our communities who work on behalf of organizations to spread rubbish about us. Surah 4 verse number 83. Surah An-Nisa ayah 83. وَإِذَا جَاءَهُمْ أَمْرٌ مِنَ الْأَمْنِ أَوِ الْخَوْفِ. What do? When there comes to them news of security or of alarm, they spread it abroad. وَلَوْ رَدُّوهُ إِلَى الرَّسُولِ وَإِلَى أُولِي الْأَمْرِ مِنْهُمْ لَعَلِمَهُ الَّذِينَ يَسْتَنْبِطُونَهُ مِنْهُمْ وَلَوْلَا فَضْلُ اللَّهِ عَلَيْكُمْ وَرَحْمَتُهُ. What would you have done? لَاتَّبَعْتُمُ الشَّيْطَانَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. What does this ayah say? You know, when the Muslims had information about their enemies, that their enemies may attack them, that their enemies may be conspiring against them, who would be the one who goes and tells others the news? The Muslims within their own camp. Why would we trust them? Because there are people in this world whose tongue is so sweet. When they tell you, Sayyid did this, Sheikh did this, Mawlai did this, you listen to them because the tongue is sweet. Look in Surah 2, verse 204, my dear brothers and sisters at home. Surah 2, verse 204 of the Quran. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يُعْجِبُكَ قَوْلُهُ فِي الْحَيَاةِ الدُّنْيَا وَيُشْهِدُ اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا فِي قَلْبِهِ. And what? وَهُوَ أَلَدُّ الْخِصَامِ. There are those who you are so what? You're taken by the way they talk. True? Bro, I'm telling you, wallah, this is what happened. I swear this is what happened. You're like, how can I reject this guy? Because this guy is, the words are bedazzling. That's why we go back. يا أيها الذين آمنوا سورة الحجرات إن جاءكم فاسق بنبأ فتبينوا أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين. And then we went back and said اجتنبوا كثيرا من الظن إن بعض الظن إثم. And then ولا تجسسوا. And then ولا يغتب بعضكم بعضا. And do not backbite one another. You sitting with your friends, backbiting so and so. Why? Why? Have you ever met me? You've never met me. So how do you believe all the rumors about me? How do you believe the rumors about, for example, my granddad? How do you believe the rumors about my grandson? You guys have sat together. You clearly don't like me, or you might not like me because of you don't. Why is there hasad? Hasad is because either someone's looks or someone's wealth or someone's education or someone's family. Okay, you don't like me. But can you categorically ever say that you've sat with me and spoken to me? If a person tells you that said Murtada, said Muhsin, is someone who's very stingy, might turn out to be generous. If someone tells you Hajj Abu Amir is someone who's very arrogant, I meet him and I'm like, damn, everyone says he's arrogant, but he's really humble. True? How many times have you had an assumption about someone and you regret it? And then you sit amongst each other and you're literally ripping off their flesh. وَلَا يَغْتَبْ بَعْضُكُمْ بَعْضًا أَيُحِبُّ what? أَحَدُكُمْ أَن يَأْكُلَ لَحْمَ أَخِيهِ مَيْتًا فَكَرِهْتُمُوهُ. When two of the companions of the Prophet were talking about someone and whose person, they're talking behind his back, there was a dead animal on the ground. The Prophet said, would you eat the flesh of the dead animal? They're like, no way. It's like, well, you're eating the flesh of your brother. There are many in the holy month of Ramadan who abstain from eating and drinking without realizing that they're also eating the dead flesh of their brothers. You can stay away from asir, from batikh, from raggi, from timman, from maraq. You can stay away from food and drink, but sometimes you've already broken your fast because the Quran says, أَيُحِبُّ أَحَدُكُمْ أَن يَأْكُلَ. وَالْأَكْلِ haram in this period of fasting, but I could still eat. But what am I eating? The dead carcass. My brother, why dead? Why? He's dead because he can't defend himself. When you're sitting in your gathering, spreading fake news about someone's personal life, and you know that they can't defend themselves, then that person is virtually dead. Because if he was alive, he'd stand up and say, here I am. How many in our community did we ruin their lives? How many? Wallah, on the day of judgment, God's going to question us. A girl takes off her hijab, suddenly everybody jumps. A girl puts on hijab, suddenly everybody jumps. A person gets married, everyone jumps. A person gets divorced, everybody jumps. A person, for example, becomes successful in business, everybody jumps. A person loses all their business, everybody. We have ruined people's lives instead of going to them and saying, these people are spreading about you, we want to help you, we want to support you. No, did you hear? And there are some of us who are worse because Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what does he say? Ghiba is two people, the one doing ghiba and the one listening to ghiba. There is two people when they listen to fake news. Let's say someone said, Sayyidina ghiba is true. Okay, done. There's some who are like, bro, tell me more. And there's some who are like, you know what, leave it. Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, someone came to him, said to him, someone's been spreading rumors about you. Someone's been slandering you. You know what he said? He said, that person shot the arrow. You made sure it reached. That person shot the arrow. You made sure it reached. There are some of us, when it comes to fake news, all of that news that does reach us wouldn't have reached if on these WhatsApp groups that we have, someone stood up and say, enough. But you know what the disease that we have in these WhatsApp groups? When it's something juicy, no one says a word. Or if it's someone we don't like, nobody says a word. And if the Muslim community continues with that, then the reality is, what's the difference between us and Walid bin Uqba? Walid bin Uqba was a fasiq because of what? Spreading fake news. Do you agree? What's the difference between us and Walid bin Uqba? This Walid bin Uqba became Uthman bin Affan's governor in Kufa. Salat al-Fajr is how many ruk'ah? Salat al-Fajr? 2. He was so drunk, he prayed 4. You've got to be drunk to have reached 4 on Fajr. You've got to be off your head. How did a man who was responsible for fake news that could have led to a whole community's death? Because you know there were some companions. When Walid bin Uqba came with the fake news, some companions said to Rasul, Ya Rasulullah, let's go and fight them. He said, wait. And the Quran said, In ja'akum fasiqun binaba'in fatabayyanu. Therefore, don't make a statement against Walid bin Uqba being a fasiq when we see sometimes the way we spread fake news about people are the signs of fusuq. May Allah bless us in this holy month of Ramadan, Shahr Ramadan, to purify our tongues, because our tongue has a right on us. And inshallah we continue tomorrow. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.
As said knows, I went to a refugee camp. Now these guys had no food, they had no milk, they were dying for every necessity, they were freezing in the cold, they needed jackets. And we said to them, okay, what do you need? And they saw something on my son's hand. And these were shares. You know what they said? They said, what is this? And my son said, oh, didn't know how to react, because you're in a refugee camp, you don't want to start a war.
Yeah.
My son thought, okay, I'm not gonna lie, I'm helping them. He said, oh, this is something we get from Karbala, we tie on our hand. Because you're Shia. My son said, alhamdulillah, I'm Shia, because I don't want nothing. Bring us Imam Hussein. We haven't heard about Imam Hussein. For 3 years, they've lived in a refugee camp. They could say to us, we were very generous, we had very generous people. They could say, bring us jackets, bring us this, bring us that, bring us. I said, we don't want nothing. Bring us Imam Hussein. Because they had listened, they hadn't heard the stories, the narrations of Karbala for 3 years. All they wanted was that. And when it happened, the tears that flowed, the love I saw, strengthened me as a human being. People living a lovely story, a guy, he could have he had the opportunity of what he'd come there for, to come from France to England. Jumped on the back of a truck and he saw all the flags. He said, if Imam Hussein came to me, how can I leave him?
Subhanallah.
He jumped off the truck and went back. Alhamdulillah, he came to London, now he's in Germany. But this is what Imam Hussein, now, you give access to your children through these channels to Imam Hussein, to people who don't know Imam Hussein. What was that saying? I think I've heard you mention it. Who was the Christian guy? He said, if Imam Hussein was from us, his name would be in every corner of every city, of every town in the whole world. We've not spread it anywhere. What have we done? Are we servants? We claim to be servants and lovers of Imam Hussein al-Islam, but really ask yourself a question, look in the mirror and say, what have you done for him? Imam Hussein is not a necessity. Imam Hussein is your duty. There's a difference. It's not what I need, it's what I owe. Where would I be without Imam Hussein? Where would this world be without those hands of Hazrat Abbas? He gave his hands. He died such a death in such a way that it breaks my heart. I cannot speak about him. I cannot speak about him, but those those hands that were taken away from him, they may not be with the body, but they support humanity today. Imam Hussein al-Islam is about humanity. His whole message was about humanity. If we ever understood Imam Hussein al-Islam, forget about us asking for $100. We'd be telling people to take money back because there'd be so much. We don't understand Imam Hussein al-Islam because we shouldn't be here asking for money. We should be saying, oh no, we got too much, take it back.